Namaste, namaste, and welcome to Wednesday morning yoga. We're on week 3 of our summer term, and this week we're going to do a very dynamic practice based around downward facing dog and our spiraling action that we've been working with for the earlier part of the term. So today we're going to start standing up. So come to standing, and we'll take the feet nice and wide apart, a little softness in the knees, and we're going to just begin by shaking. So really shaking our whole bodies. You can wiggle yourself in any direction. Shake really into the arms. That's what I'm really interested in, is getting the shake down through the arms into the fingers, shake through the wiggly hips and in the legs, and just discovering that sense of we can be attached to the ground, but we can wiggle everything. Let it be free moving, shake out some tension, and get that sense of buoyancy in our limbs as well. So it's okay to giggle because this little bit is a little bit funny. And just remember that there's nobody watching. Super duper. So we'll give it a final really good shake through the body. And then bring yourself to stillness and just feel the effect of that. So you can feel the buzz of energy, the vibration of it through your whole body. And then from here, we will move into Kati Chakrasana. So just a gentle twisting from side to side. Little firmness in the belly muscles. And then you can free your feet whenever you're ready. Just a little rotation through that back leg as you turn away from it. And maybe you'd like to add a little bounce in the knees as well. So that sense of buoyancy that we had with our shaking, we're going to use in a more purposeful way here. Touching the opposite shoulder in front of you, opposite hip behind, as you move from side to side. And see if you can feel the spirals in your body, the sense of one side of the body lengthening or one diagonal lengthening as the other one contracts. And see if you can feel what needs to be engaged to support that movement. And then when you're ready, you can let your bounce go, bring your feet to stillness, and sway the body gently back to steadiness. And when you come back to steadiness, we're going to start today by opening the arms really, really wide, wrapping the right arm over the left arm and just holding onto our shoulders. Here, we're going to turn the feet to the left and then just move the body in a twist towards the left, keeping anchored into the right leg as we go. Just taking a deep breath in here, deep breath out, coming back to the center, opening the arms really wide, drawing the shoulder blades together to move the arms back a little bit, and then crossing the arms over the opposite way, left on top of right. Little softness in the knees, a little twist of the feet to the right, and then rotating the upper body to the right, pressing into the left foot, firm in the belly, taking a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Coming back to the center, freeing the arms, opening the arms wide, drawing the shoulder blades back towards each other, drawing the hands back behind the body, and then just turning the palms to the floor and floating them down. We'll give the shoulders a little bit of a wriggle after that. You deserve it. And then bringing yourself to center, just finding a base that suits you. I like a little softness in my knees. You might prefer that too. Chin towards your chest. And take a moment to feel just wherever the chin lands. Take a deep breath in and out and check that your jaw is soft, your forehead, your shoulders. And then when you're ready, you can roll the right ear towards the right shoulder. Maybe the chin comes up a little, chin to chest, and then left ear to left shoulder. So just going from side to side, feeling the spiral that happens here down the sides of the neck and what that connects into in the upper torso. If it's helpful, you can circle the head all the way around, or you might prefer to simply hold in one position for a couple of deep breaths. And if you do that, remembering to reverse the rotation or hold on the opposite side, somewhere that's helpful for a couple of deep breaths. Whenever you're ready, bringing the chin back to the chest, returning the head to center, and again, just rolling the shoulders. And the opposite way as well. Okay, so we're going to activate our feet today because we'll do some things on the feet later in the class, and I'd just like them to be really engaged. So coming up onto your tiptoes to walk around your yoga space on your tiptoes. And as you do this, taking care to keep the body upright, try to avoid looking at your feet, let your arms swing if that is how you naturally walk, and make your gait, your walk, as natural as possible. Whenever you're ready, you can float your feet to the floor. Just take a moment to feel the effect of walking on just the toes, and then come up onto your heels to walk on your heels in any direction you choose. You can walk, you don't need to walk in a circle, you can walk in straight lines, wiggly lines. But as you walk on your heels, try to keep a little softness in the knees so that you don't walk with rigidly straight legs, and a little swing in the arms. Keep that sense of buoyancy in the movement. When you are ready, coming to a stop, just floating the feet to the floor, feeling the further stimulation of the underneath of the feet, and then on the outside edges of your feet, walking with your insteps turned upwards, again as naturally as possible, keeping the head lifted, the chest open, arms relaxed, finding that inner sense of bounce. And then when you're ready, you can stop and float the feet to the floor, take a moment to feel the effects, come onto the inside edges of the feet, and our final action, walking around your space on the inside edge of your feet. And this one is quite challenging for most people. So if you find yourself penguining your arms, just allow them to relax. Keep the chest lifted. And again, floating your feet to the floor whenever you are ready. Feeling the effect of all of that practice, the real stimulation of the sole of the foot. So as we work through our practice today, I'd like you to keep your awareness in your feet to feel that they are the foundation of the practice. So you can anchor yourself into them, you can power from them, and create your practice from this foundation. Yay! Okay, smashing stuff. So coming onto your mat now, with the feet nice and wide, and we'll do a little bit more significant work with the shoulders. So softness in the knees, soft left elbow, and making nice big circles with your left arm. And here, perhaps a touch of lift through the belly muscles or the pelvic floor might help to stabilize your torso. And you might find that when you've done a few, you would like your body to respond to the movement. So if you feel that movement coming on, the movement of the arm coming into the shoulder, and already creating those beautiful spirals, let's reverse the motion. Going in the opposite direction, you can start with a smaller movement, just involving the arm if it feels good to you. And whenever you're ready, you can bring in the rest of the spine, the rest of the body. And you can feel in your feet that firm foundation that allows the rest of your body to move freely and in that sort of liquidy, languid, pliable fashion. Let's do the other side, resting in between to feel the difference between the two sides. Soft in the right elbow, beginning with just circling the arm. And feel if it's different from the other side. I've got a clonk in this shoulder. So whenever you're ready, moving with more of the body. And if I do that, that eliminates the clonk in my shoulder. So the rest of my body helps to make the movement. I don't have to strain my shoulder to do it. I wasn't straining my shoulder, I promise. Very good. And whenever you're ready, you can reverse the motion, maybe starting small with just circling the arm. And again, placing that movement or moving that motion into the torso to be able to move with your shoulder. Firm in the belly and feeling a little bit of support from the feet as well. One more in this direction. And we're going to float that arm down to the side. Just give the shoulders a bit of a shrug. Settle any things that need settling. And bring your feet more towards each other. They don't have to touch. Having the feet together is not incredibly useful most of the time because it tends to bring different forces through the pelvis. So slightly apart is usually a firmer foundation. We're going to float up and down onto our tiptoes. So with the hands out in front of you, down by your sides, inhale, bring them up to about chest height as you float onto your tiptoes, and exhale down onto your heels. Floating in, inhaling up, and floating down as you exhale. Inhaling up, exhaling down. One more. Inhaling up and exhaling down. Here, just bending the knees quite deeply to ease any tension out of the calf muscles and then coming back to standing. So this time as we float up, we're going to reach one arm out to the side to do a twist and come back to the center and do the same with the other side. So we'll do it together. From our firm foundation, firm in the belly, maybe using a point of focus ahead of you that is not moving. Inhaling the arms up to chest height, floating onto the tiptoes. Exhale as you open the left arm to the left. Inhale back to the center. And then the other side, exhaling, opening the right arm to the left, maybe just twisting slightly. Exhaling, inhaling to center, sorry, and exhaling down. Very good. Let's do that one more time to each side. Inhaling up, exhaling to the left. Inhale to center, exhale to the right. Inhale to center and exhale down. Bend the knees deeply, just ease out the backs of the legs. Super duper. This time when we come up, we're going to do a similar motion. We're going to reach the left arm up and around behind the body, and then as we inhale, we'll bring it back to the center and then do the same thing, circling the opposite arm. So firm in the belly, point of focus, inhaling up onto your tiptoes, exhaling as you reach the left arm over your head, twisting. Inhale, sweep the hand down and back to center. Exhale, reaching the right arm over and twisting. Exhale, sweeping down and back to center. And then releasing, inhaling, down, exhaling down. My breaths are all over the place. This time you can do it with your own breath, doing whatever you want with your breath. So let's do it one more time. Firm in the belly, coming up to your tiptoes, reaching the left arm up and over, reaching behind, reaching down, reaching forward. And then the same with the right arm, reaching up, reaching behind, reaching down, reaching forward, And releasing the heels down, arms down, bending the knees. Lovely job. And we're going to give our legs just a little bit of a shake out after that action, which has helped for us to feel that we've got that firm foundation from the tips of the toes. It's incredible what we can do with just a small amount of the foot on the floor. So let's come into just having the feet a comfortable distance apart. And we're going to reach the arms up as we breathe in. And as we breathe out, bring the palms down to the center of the chest. Let's do one more like that. Breathing in, reaching the arms out and up, maybe looking up towards the hands. Breathing out, hands down to the center of the chest. This time we'll do a little side bend. Breathing in, reaching out and up. Catch hold of the left wrist with the right hand, and as you breathe out, leaning over to the right. Breathing in back to the center, swap hands, and breathing out over to the left. Let's do one more to each side. Breathing in back to the center, breathing out, bending to the right. Breathing in back to the center, breathing out, bending to the left. Breathing in back to the center, maybe looking up, and this time breathe out, let your arms float down to the body in any way that feels good to you. Finish with the hands in Namaste. Very good. Let's do this and add a little twist. So this time as we twist, we're going to come from the arms over the head, reach one arm forward and one arm backwards. This time the whole foot is on the floor. So see if that feels different. See if you can perceive any sensation that is different in the way that we practice this time. So from our firm foundation, little firmness in the belly too. Breathe in, take the arms out and up, looking up. Breathing out, catch hold of the left wrist and come over to the right side. Breathe in back to the center and we're going to twist to the right. Breathe out as you reach the left hand forward and the right hand backwards. Breathe in back to the center, side bend to the left. Catch hold of the right wrist as you breathe out and bend to the side. Breathing in back to the center, twist to the left. Breathe out as you reach the right hand forward, left hand back. Breathe in back to the center. Let's do that one more time. So breathing out as we lean over to the right side. Breathing in back to the center. Breathing out as we twist to the right. Breathing in back to the center. Breathing out, leaning over to the left. Breathing in back to the center and breathing out as we twist to the left. Breathe in back to the center and just allow the arms to float down as you breathe out. And rest down by the sides this time for a little shrug of the shoulders, maybe a little roll of the shoulders. We can do our dancing rolls. We're not allowed to call them sexy rolls anymore. Could be. Maybe for someone they are, but let's go with dancing. That's all good. And adjust your clothing if you need to. Mine trousers move all over the place because we move our bodies so dynamically. Excellent stuff. Now I'm going to come to face the long end of my mat. And in this practice, most of the time we'll be working along the length of the mat, but towards the end of the practice, we're going to step to this left-hand side. So if you need to move your screen to the left-hand side or to the left-hand corner, then that would be quite a good thing. So we're going to start with a chair pose, and we're going to do first a dynamic sort of bouncing chair. And then we're going to come into chair pose and do some rotations. So I call this whoosh breath. And for this, we've got the feet a nice distance apart, a little softness in the knees, a little firmness in the belly. We're going to breathe in and reach the arms out and up. And as we breathe out, just bend forward from the hips, soften the knees and breathe out through the mouth. Bend the knees deeply to stand tall as you breathe in and breathing out. Breathing in as you stretch, breathing out as you bounce. Breathing in as you stretch, breathing out as you bounce. Keep exhaling through the mouth. We'll do one more. And then finish by breathing in, stretching up, and breathing out the arms down to the side. Very good. That's a really lovely way to give yourself a little bit of a spruce, energetic spruce first thing. First thing in the practice, first thing in the morning, it works wonders as well. Not really first thing, but after you've gotten going a little bit. So now we're going to come into chair pose. And so our feet stay the same, but just make sure that your feet aren't too wide. And if you need to adjust for your hips, some people prefer a little turnout, some people prefer them straight. So here we're going to breathe in, take the arms up. And as we breathe out, bend the knees and sit to our first level of chair. So here we've got the opportunity to further increase the effort by drawing the shoulder blades down the back and drawing the hands towards the space over the head, either side of the ears. And then just playing with our pelvic tilt. So you can tuck the tailbone under and you can tuck the tail the other way. Tucking forwards and backwards. Tucking the tailbone under, extending through the tailbone. And find a neutral spot between those two places. Firm the belly. Gaze gently ahead. Soften your shoulders down. Lengthen the crown of the head upwards. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And then we're going to bring the hands together and down to the center of the chest. And from here, we're going to come further into chair. So we're sinking down, bending the knees a little deeper, sticking the tailbone out a little further. And here from this sunken chair, we're going to take the right elbow to the inside of the right thigh. So not the left thigh, not doing a big twist. And gently easing through that twist. So we don't want to force ourselves to go further than we naturally find. And then we're going to come back to the center and do the same thing, taking the left elbow to the inside of the left knee or thigh and just gently finding some length, finding that natural twist without pushing further, still drawing the shoulder blades down, coming back to center. And then here, we're going to reach the hands towards the floor and come into a gentle forward bend, still with the knees nice and bent. So here in our gentle forward bend, your hands don't have to reach the floor. Fingertips can be there or they can come onto your shins. We're just going to give our legs a little bit of a paddle. So like we do in downward facing dog, lengthening one leg and then the other. Again, they don't have to become straight. It's just a little wiggle. And then if you like, you can gently shimmer your upper body from side to side. Use a little support from the floor or a block if you've got one. Relax the back of your neck. Maybe gently turn your head from side to side as well. And then coming back to the center, we're going to take the hands onto the shins, press the legs a little straighter, lengthen through the back, look forward, lengthen through the arms, draw the shoulder blades back towards each other, scoop the belly in, take a deep breath in here, and a deep breath out as we fold all the way down. We're going to take the hands to the floor and step the feet back and come to hands and knees. So here in our hands and knees position, remember you don't have to have your wrists directly underneath your shoulders, they can be slightly in front. We're going to start with our feet a little bit apart as well and make some stirring circles with our hips. A little softness in the elbows here. And take the strain out of the upper back. And then we go the opposite way as well. Just finding a little wiggle room through the low back and sides of the body. And then coming to center, we're going to walk our hands all the way back towards us, tucking the toes under. So kneeling or sitting if you prefer, for a little wake up of the wrists. So finding your comfortable spot, bringing your elbows close to the body, interlacing the fingers, and then making a fist with both hands and rolling through the wrists, figure of eights through the wrists. Very good. So you can do this. I tend to start this going quite quickly, but if you slow it down a little bit, you can really feel the rotation, that spiral that happens across the wrist as we do this as well. And then going in the opposite direction. And reversing the direction of this is always a little bit of one of those mental gymnastics. Very good. Just nice and slow. Then we're going to separate the hands and just give the wrists a little bit of a shake and the fingers a little bit of a shake as well, which is very good for our connective tissues, that sort of shaking action. And then we'll roll through the wrists. So bringing the backs of the hands together and rolling the fingertips towards you, palms come together, fingertips away, backs of the hands together. So just rolling here. And we'll go in both directions. Nice to give the wrists a little warm up. And then you can reach the fingertips away from you, turn the palm of the right hand, away from you and draw the fingers of the right hand back towards you with the fingers of the left hand. Here you can always tell if you've done too much because your shoulders will come up towards your ears. So we're not looking for strain, we're not looking for really intense. We're looking for a sense of length with a softness in the shoulders, maybe even a softness in the elbow as well. If you want to, you can lengthen through your elbow to see if that improves the sensation for you, or you can keep it a little bit softer. I have to say, with a softened elbow, I get much better stretch on my lower arm. And then releasing on this side, slowly bringing the palms back towards each other and going to the opposite side. So nice little bit of length there, softening your shoulders, just noticing if they creep up or if you've clenched your jaw. Gently breathing. Trying lengthening the elbow and softening the elbow, seeing where there'll be a point between the two where the stretch is best for you. And then gently bringing the hands back together and just wiggling the fingers, rolling the wrists individually with nice long fingers. And then with thumbs in the palms, rolling the wrists as we make fists around our thumbs. And this one's really good for those of you who type a lot or spend a lot of time on screens. Okay, so now our wrists are really, really fully engaged. We're going to do a gentle movement for the upper body just before we come back to our hands and knees again. So we're going to start with the hands together in front of the body, palms together, and then draw the elbows back behind the body, turn the palms open as you open the chest, and then round the chin towards the chest as you reach the hands forward, palms together again. So inhaling as you draw the elbows back, opening the palms to the ceiling, looking up. Exhaling, palms together, chin to chest. Inhaling, open. And exhaling. Let's just do one more. Inhaling, open. And exhaling. Very good. We're going to come back to kneeling upright, come onto our hands, which should hopefully feel amazing now. And from hands and knees, we're going to start with a little cat-cow and then move more dynamically from there. So here, imagine that you're dragging the heels of your hands backwards as you lift the belly muscles and look forwards. So that dragging action draws the chest forwards and through between the hands. And then press the mat away from you as you round through your back. Scoop the belly in, chin to chest. Inhaling forward, shoulders come back and down as you drag the hands towards you. Exhaling, pressing the hands away, drawing the the hips towards the shoulders. Inhaling forward. And exhaling, rounding. Inhaling forward. And exhaling, rounding. Now we're going to do a little bit more of that with the whole body. So we're going to start with the hips back towards the heels, toes tucked under if it's comfortable for you. And then we're going to press off the feet or the toes, rounding through the spine, looking towards the knees, and then drawing the hips towards the floor as we open the chest, soft elbows. So a little bit like our waving vinyasa, we're just going to go forwards and backwards. You can give yourself a little bit more space. I definitely need to. So from this extended child's pose, really using the belly muscles, using the anchor of the feet, using that action of drawing the hands back towards the body, lifting the hips up as you come back the opposite way. So we're going to do 3 more of these, forwards and backwards. Not quite a waving vinyasa because we're not going to roll through the spine in quite the same way. But we are getting that back bending action followed by that rounding curve. 1 more because I've lost count. Finishing in child's pose, but also tucking the toes flat if they've been tucked under. And here we're going to leave the elbows on the floor and bring the palms of the hands to the top of the back. So if you need a bit of support underneath the body or the head to be able to do that, that's no problem. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. 1 more deep breath in and deep breath out. And then we're going to reach the hands forward again, come back onto hands and knees. We're just going to bring the knees a little bit closer towards each other. And we're going to do some of our, some people call them bird dogs, but I've always called them tigers. So that's all good. We're going to do that. We're going to start with the right leg. So from your hands and knees position, extending your right leg back behind you and then lifting that leg to about hip height. It doesn't need to go very high. Opening the chest as you look forward. And as you exhale, draw the right knee to the left elbow and feel free to move your torso and really round through your back as you do that. Inhaling, lengthening the leg behind you, looking forward and up, not locking the elbows. Exhaling, scooping the belly in, knee to left elbow. Inhaling, lengthening, exhaling, rotating. Inhaling, lengthening, exhaling, rotating. This time we're just going to lengthen the leg and place it down, slide the right knee in and do a little wiggle from side to side. So just drawing shoulder and hip towards each other on each side of the body. It's a little wiggle. It doesn't need to be more significant than that. Coming back to the center, same thing with the other side. Lengthening the left leg, lifting it behind you, looking forward, opening the chest, inhaling here. And as you exhale, draw the left knee to the right elbow. Inhaling, lengthening. Exhaling, left knee to right elbow. Inhale, feel what happens in the back of the left leg. Exhale, rotating. Last one, inhaling, lengthening. Exhaling, rotating. And then floating that leg back, touching the foot down, knee in. And we're going to find our way down onto our belly. So reaching the hands a little bit further forward and just allow yourself to rest all the way down. Make a pillow out of the hands. Turn the tops of the feet towards the floor, toes inwards, heels outwards. And take a couple of deep breaths here. And this is a really nice position for rest, for awareness, because it allows the spine to rest in a very natural position for the curvature of the spine. And it's a very different position from the one that we adopt throughout our day most of the time. Very few people lie on their tummies a lot during their day. But if you watch children, they do quite often. So We are going to rest the head on the back of the hands, bring the legs towards each other, and do a little leg lifting behind the body. So firming the belly, pressing both feet down and letting the head and the shoulders be heavy as well. As you inhale, keep the left foot pressed down and lift the right leg up behind you. Exhaling down. Inhaling other side, lifting left, pressing right foot down and exhaling down. Inhale, right leg up. Exhaling, release. Inhale, left leg up. Exhaling, release. Keep going from side to side. Perhaps you have a different rate or rhythm. Remember, you don't need to lift very high, but perhaps for the next 2 to each side, you can feel the engagement of the buttock and a little bit the low back, perhaps, as you lift. A little bit in the hamstring. See if you can do it also with your belly muscles engaged. When you've done 2 more to each side, just resting, toes towards each other, heels falling out and apart to give space to that part of the back that's done a lot of work. And just wiggle your hips from side to side. We're going to come back to this position to do some further work on our leg lifting. So hands underneath the shoulders for now, tucking the toes, coming back onto your hands and knees, and we're going to leave the hands where they are, drop the buttocks to the heels, really press through the hands, and then with the chest down towards the thighs, simply uncurl the legs into our first downward dog of the day. Just going to walk myself a little bit forward on my mat. So here in our first down dog, we're scooping the belly in and lengthening through one heel and then the other. So we're just doing a little bit. It doesn't matter what your dog looks like. It's not really about the dog as such, and it's not about making your body into a particular shape. What we're trying to do in this posture is allow the spine to have its quite natural alignment, but extend through the posterior chain. So all of the fascia, the muscles, the connective tissue of the back of the body. Very good. So here in your down dog, taking your feet apart, dropping your heels to the left, and then simply bending and stretching your knees a few times, just to feel the openness down the right side of the body. When you're ready, you can come back onto your tiptoes, drop your heels to the right, and bend and stretch the knees, still keeping your head and hands pretty centered. And then when you're ready, coming back to the center, taking your knees to the floor, walking your hands back towards you with the toes tucked under. And we're going to sit back onto the heels and roll through the wrists. So giving the hands a little bit of a break throughout the practice, either lying on our tummies or kneeling upright, just so that we can go gently. There's no need to go so forcefully with the body that we create something sore or break something. So rolling the opposite way as well. And then shaking out the wrists, maybe rolling the shoulders if it feels good, maybe turning the head from side to side if that feels good. Doing whatever feels like it's a release. And all of the while we've been sitting with the toes tucked under, I did mean to say if you need to lift your hips up, you can. But I know that you guys who've worked with me many times probably know that already. Okay, so let us do some dynamic. We're doing some 3-legged dogs, and we're going to do the leg lift and the knee to the opposite elbow underneath. So coming back into your hands and knees position to begin with, tucking the toes. This time we're going to float the knees off the floor and then press the chest back towards the thighs and then extend through the legs. Here in your downward dog, just paddling if you need to, but just turning your head from side to side, just getting a little bit of length down the back of the neck. When you're ready, you can bring your feet together, and we're going to firm the belly and raise the right leg to wherever it naturally goes. It doesn't need to get particularly high. And then bend the left knee and bounce on the left knee, a little bit up and down, firming the fingertips and the heels of the hands to the mat. And then when you're ready, we're going to inhale with the right leg up and exhale the right knee to the left elbow. Inhaling, right leg up. Exhaling, right knee to left elbow. Inhaling and exhaling as we rotate and spiral. One more. Inhaling, exhaling, rotate and spiral. This time we're going to inhale up and then exhale as we step the foot forward and drop the left knee down. So we come into a lunge position here. And when we're in the lunge position, doesn't matter if you have to do a shuffle to get there, we're going to press the feet away from each other and reach our arms up, really engaging in that left hip, the buttock, the thigh. And here, we're going to reach the arms up and then allow them to come back and down. Ooh, that's nice. Again, reaching the arms up, catch hold of the left wrist with the right hand and then lean over to the right. Come back to the center, drop the arms into cactus arms and then rotate to the right. Come back to the center, take your hands down to your mat. And then here, leave the left hand down and make one big circle with the right hand in each direction. Very good. Then we're going to have both hands on the floor, framing your foot, and step back into your downward facing dog. Give yourself a little bit of a paddle from side to side. And then bring your feet together. We're going to lift the left leg up, soften the right knee so we can bounce on that right knee a few times, really firming the hands into the mat. And then when you're ready, inhale and exhale the left knee to the right elbow. Inhaling up, exhaling, left knee to right elbow. Firm in your belly, inhaling, exhaling, knee to elbow. Inhaling, exhaling, knee to elbow. This time, inhaling up and exhale as you step the left foot forward. Drop the right knee down. You're in a little bit of a lunge here. We're going to press the feet away from each other, reach the arms up so we're in an upright lunge, and then just allow the arms to carry on back and down behind us. Lovely openness for the chest. One more time, reaching the arms up. Catch hold of the right wrist with the left hand and gently bend to the left. Come back to the center, drop the arms to cactus arms and rotate to the left. Come back to the center, reach the hands down to the floor, leave the right hand down there, and then do one big circle with the left arm in each direction, twisting a little bit to the left as we do. When you're ready, hands come back to the mat, and we're going to lengthen the back leg and step back to downward facing dog. Give ourselves a little bit of a paddle, and then you can either drop the knees to the floor or keep the knees lifted for a waving vinyasa. So bottom towards the heels, press off the toes, round through the spine, open your chest, soft elbows, soft knees to look forward, up dog, and then bending the knees, coming through hands and knees, or coming through plank if you prefer, back to downward facing dog. This time we'll come forward to land on the belly. So bending the knees, rounding through the spine, opening the chest, and then just settling the body to the floor. Make a pillow out of the hands, toes turn towards each other, heels apart. Wiggle the bottom if you need to. Take a couple of deep breaths. Feel the effect of your asana work so far. And then bringing the feet towards each other, pointing the toes backwards and resting the head, shoulders down into the mat. We're going to press the left foot down, lift the right leg, and then softly bend the knee just to lift the right foot a little higher and release down. Press the right foot down, lift the left leg,
And then softly bend the knee just to lift the toe or the heel a little higher and relax down. Press the left foot down, lift the right leg, softly bend the knee and release. Press the right foot down, lift the left leg, softly bend your knee and release. Let's do 2 more to each side, keeping the head and the shoulders very relaxed. It's like a very slow swimming stroke. But you can feel the engagement. So as you lift your leg, the buttock engages. As you bend your knee, the top of the hamstring engages. And that's really important for stabilizing the hips. And then when you rest down, this time, wiggling the hips, toes towards each other, heels apart. Few little wiggles to release any tension. And then we'll take our hands underneath the shoulders, come back to hands and knees, drop the hips towards the heels, and with the knees down, come up into downward facing dog. Or sorry, from the knees down, come into downward facing dog. So that we're going to do a very similar practice. So feet towards each other, lifting the right leg up, look forward, and as you exhale, bend the right knee to the left elbow. Inhaling back up again, exhaling, knee to elbow. We're just doing 3 this time. Inhaling and exhaling. And this time stepping the right foot forward, but keeping the left knee off the mat. And we're going to keep the hips quite square. Leave the left hand down, but maybe tense your fingertips so that you're not on your wrist, or you can make a fist. And then make 3 circles in each direction with the right arm. Firm in your feet, your belly, your buttocks. And going the opposite way, just whenever you're ready. Very good. From here, we're going to turn the left foot so it points towards the long end of the mat. Really press into that right leg and cartwheel our hands up so we're in Virabhadrasana 3 alignment, adjusting clothing as needed. And here, just making sure your feet feel stable. So you don't need to worry about really particular perfect alignment in the feet, but make sure it supports you, whatever position you're in. And we're going to breathe in, reaching the arms up, the front leg is long. Breathe out, reaching the arms long, palms up or down, depending on how you feel, looking over the middle finger of the right hand. Breathing in, reaching up. Breathing out, reaching wide. Breathing in, reaching up, maybe even looking up. Breathing out, reaching wide. And then from this Virabhadrasana 2, we're going to do our retreating, floating, I don't know, it's all good. We're going to reach the left hand forward and the right hand backwards, really firm in the belly and the buttocks, and then reach the right hand across the body and the left hand forwards. Let's do 2 more like this. Inhaling as we reach back, retreating warrior. Exhaling as we reach forward. Inhaling. And exhaling. So we're going to go backwards 1 more time. Inhaling here, and then just allowing the breath to go. We're going to lengthen the right leg, turn the right toes to point to the long side of the mat, and then fold over the left leg. So you might need to adjust your left toes to point that way too. Take the right hand down to the left foot or thereabouts, and reach the left hand up as you twist to look in the direction of the left hand. Here you can bend and lengthen your left leg. Do a little bounce if that feels good. And then we're gently going to turn both toes to the left, frame the left foot with the hands, and step the left foot back to the right foot so that we end up in downward facing dog, facing in the opposite direction. And wiggle through your dog a little bit here. Perhaps take the feet nice and wide and do a little bouncing, wiggling of the hips. You can make that wiggle come through the torso, through the neck. whatever feels good. You don't need to do any particular kind of dog, if that makes sense. Okay, so we do the whole thing to the other side, bringing your feet together, firming the belly, the hands. Inhale the left leg up and exhale the left knee to the right elbow. Inhaling left leg up, exhaling knee to elbow. Inhaling left leg up, exhaling knee to elbow. Inhaling one more up and then step the left foot forward to the hands, but keep the right knee off the mat. Leave the right hand down, either tented fingertips or a fist as you prefer, and make big circles with the left hand. So we want firm belly, firm buttocks, firm feet, and make 3 circles in the opposite direction as well. When you've done 3 in each direction, we're going to turn the right toes to point towards the long end of the mat. Firm the left knee, left foot rather, sorry, and then come cartwheeling the hands to Virabhadrasana 2. So here, if you need to adjust your feet when you come up or your clothing, you can. Take your time, do that. It's no problem, it's no hurry. We're going to reach the arms apart, settle ourselves in Vira 2, and then lengthen the front leg, turn to the long side of the mat, reach the hands up, and exhaling down. Let's inhale up, exhale down. One more, inhaling up, and exhaling down. And then here, with our legs set, reaching the left arm backwards, the right arm forwards, and then coming into our variation of extended side angle pose, reaching the arms across the body the other way. So the arms are really making a circle, the hands going from side to side, in the buttock, firm belly muscles. One more in each direction. Finishing in your retreating warrior. And then lengthening through the left leg, turning in the left foot, and folding over the right leg to take the left hand to the floor there, or in there or thereabouts, and reaching the right hand up behind you. You can softly bend or bounce the right knee if it's comfortable, or both knees if you need to. Take a deep breath in, and a deep breath out. And then here, instead of going back to the end of the mat, we're going to come to the center of the mat. So now in our forward bend, a little softness in the knees here, or a sway of the upper body from side to side. Maybe a turn of the head from side to side. And then when you're ready, you can turn your heels in, sit your bottom down, and press through the feet to come into goddess pose or horse stance. Nice. Okay, so lengthen the arms and the legs, reach the arms wide. We're going to cross the right arm over the left arm to hug the shoulders. Give a couple of deep breaths here. Feel that space between the shoulder blades broaden and lengthen. And if you want to, here you can bring your arms into Garudasana arms, eagle arms, or you can simply leave your arms on your shoulders. We're going to bend the knees a little deeper, tuck your tailbone under slightly, allow your knees to move out, firm that space underneath the body in the perineum, the pelvic floor, and the belly muscles and the buttocks, and then make one big circle in each direction with your arms. You don't have to go very far, you can make a small circle. Let's do one more in each direction. Very good. And then when you come up and lengthen the legs, let the hands float down to the sides and uncross, reaching them wide. And then we'll cross the opposite way. So reach the arms behind the body, open your chest, and then reach the left arm over the right arm. Couple of deep breaths here. Feeling that length. Then drawing backs of the hands or the palms of the hands towards each other if you want to, or just leaving the arms on the shoulders if you prefer. Bend your knees deeply. Find that good goddess squat. Make sure it's not pinching in your knees. And then making 2 rotations in each direction. But like we did last time, one way or one the other. Very good. And when you're ready, you can come back to center, lengthen the arms, lengthen the legs even, not lengthen the arms. Hands back down to the shoulders. Uncross the arms, turn the palms open. And then we're going to turn both feet to the right and just cartwheel our arms down to the floor. Come back into downward facing dog for a little bit of a paddle through our dog. Aces. So we're going to do a waving vinyasa to realign the spine. It can be knees down or knees up as you prefer. One waving vinyasa through the back. And coming back to finish in downward dog or hands and knees. And then this time, when you come forward, coming down onto lying on your chest, on your belly. Hopefully not lying just on your chest. Pillow out of your hands, toes towards each other, heels apart, and a little wiggle of the hips from side to side. So we're going to do what are called scorpions now, where we lift the back of the leg, lift a leg, bend the knee, and then reach it across to the opposite side of the body. And we are going to end up rolling to each side. So I might need to make myself a little bit of extra room. So bringing the feet towards each other, remembering to rest your head down on your hands, press your left foot down, lift your right leg up, bend the knee, and then just reach the right toes across the body. They don't have to go to the left side to the floor. It's just in that direction. Firm in the belly, firm in the buttock, and then gently roll back to the center. Same thing on the other side. Head remains heavy into the mat. Press the right foot down, lift the left leg, bend the knee, and then reach the left foot across the body towards the right side and return to center. Let's do 2 more of those to each side. Press down left, lift right, bend knee, and reach. Return to center, press down the right foot, lift the left leg, bend the knee, and reach. Back to center. You can feel the spiral, 1 more to each side. As you work in this way. So this time, we're going to reach the left arm out in front of us and leave the head on the back of the right hand. Press down with the left foot, lift the right leg, bend the knee, reach the right foot all the way over and roll onto your back so that you end up with the right knee bent, left leg long, and we're going to slide the left foot in so that both knees are bent. Reach your arms out to the side. Here, gently sway the knees from one side to the other. A little firmness in the belly will help here. And then come back to the center and bring the elbows down by the sides. Roll the backs of the shoulders, backs of the arms, and the elbows down. Gentle press down with the back of the head. Lift your hips up and just wiggle them around as if you were hula hooping in your bridge pose. Good job. Go the opposite way as well. And then floating the hips down to the floor, lengthen the left leg and the left arm. Use the right foot. Press off the right foot to roll back onto your tummy. Nice and graceful. And in the center, spend a moment just resting. Toes towards each other, heels apart. You can do some stillness and breathing, or you can wiggle your hips, or a combination of both if you like. Then reaching the right arm over the head, leaving the left hand to support the forehead. Press down with the right foot, lift the left leg up, bend your knee, reach your left foot over to the right, rolling onto your back. Arms out to the side, slide your right foot in so both knees are bent, and just gently swaying the knees from side to side. A little firmness in the belly here to support that, making that stable for the pelvis. And we're not aiming to get the knee all the way down to the side. We're just swaying. We're releasing the effort that we've used in the back of the body, the engagement in those muscles that have supported our movements, particularly through that last section, so that we can move into our counter poses without taking that effort with us. When you're ready, knees in the center, arms down by the side, elbows on the floor, backs of the arms and shoulders pressing down, and then gently lifting the hips up. Doesn't matter how high they get, and a little circling of the hips in a hula hoopy fashion. One way and then the other. And then when you're ready, coming back to center, releasing the hips down, extend the right arm over your head, the right leg out in front, and then use the left foot to roll yourself back onto your tummy. Again, taking a couple of deep breaths here. Wiggling anything that needs wiggling. And then when you're ready, you can bring the hands underneath the shoulders, tuck the toes, come back into child's pose, maybe taking the knees quite wide, toes towards each other, and just lengthen the fingertips away from you, leave the elbows on the floor, bend the arms at the elbows, and rest your hands back onto your upper back, that space at the bottom of the neck maybe. Use the warmth of the hands to soften any effort across the shoulders here, across the neck, for a couple of deep breaths in, and you'll notice that this is a nice way to lengthen that space underneath the arms and the tricep area as well. Then whenever you're ready, you can come onto your hands and knees, come into sitting or any comfortable position, because we're going to move now into our winding down phase. But for this, we need a yoga block or a sturdy book. Absolutely book. So I've got one over here. We're having a yoga block, and we're going to use this to do a supported bridge pose. And we want to do a significant supported bridge because we have done quite a lot of twisting through the class. And so back bending is an excellent way to counter pose. We've done a little bit of that with our scorpions, but those were also spirals. So I'm going to use this now. Coming down onto your back. I just need to adjust clothing again, adjust hair as needed. And we're going to aim to put the block underneath the body on its end so that it is supporting the body in the highest orientation. But if slightly lower down suits you better, please don't strain. It's just for those who need the openness of the full height. We can go with that. So using the feet, really engaging the feet down into the mat. We're going to roll the hips up off the floor and slide the block underneath the back so it supports the sacrum. So that's the space at the back of the pelvis. And we also need to perhaps adjust ourselves. There we are, that's the one. It can be a little difficult to find that on this narrow end sometimes. So here, I like to take my feet just a little bit further away from my buttocks than I had them for coming into the pose, and let your weight rest down onto this block, really supporting the weight of the pelvis so that you don't have to make any engagement with the buttocks or the backs of the legs or the heels of the feet. And you can rest your arms away from the body and find that opens the space in the chest as well as the shoulders soften towards the mat. There's a little lengthening here at the back of the neck, not too significant, but noticeable if you are tuned into that space of the body. And so here, just closing your eyes or gazing at a single point above you and taking some deep breaths, allowing the body to soften as much effort as is possible here. See if you can soften the effort from the jaw and the tongue. Swallow deeply if it helps. Hold for one more long, deep breath. And then as gently as you can, with as little engagement as possible, just lift the hips enough to turn your block down to its medium setting, or if you're on the medium setting, to its low setting. So we're going down gradually. Again, allowing the body some time to rest here, to allow the spine to adapt to the slightly softened support. And then again, as gently and subtly as possible, lifting the hips to turn the block to rest down onto its lowest setting. If you were there already, that's okay, just hang out here at the low setting. And here on our setting, we've got the option of extend. If you want to extend one leg at a time, or if you prefer, you can extend both legs at the same time. And that just opens up the space here in the pelvis, the front of the pelvis, which hasn't had quite the same rest with our bent knee variations. So if it's helpful, you can rest the hands here at the front of the pelvis for a little bit of warmth, or you can rest the hands out to the side or even over your head if you like. Any of these are options for you. Try to soften again the effort from the face and the space between the eyebrows and the tongue and the jaw. Enjoy some slow, languid breaths. And then when you're ready, if you've got your legs extended, just gently bringing them in one at a time. Lifting the hips just enough to remove your block and let your hips settle down, and hopefully that feels absolutely amazing after that release. And here we're going to do a little something for the upper body. So reaching the arms wide, and we're going to wrap the right arm over the left, just as we did standing in our horse stance or goddess pose earlier. So allowing the tips of the fingers to drape towards the floor. Taking a couple of deep breaths to feel that area between the shoulder blades lengthen and soften, just as we soften the chest in our supported bridge.
If it's helpful here, you can gently sway the nose from side to side, not really turning the head, just rocking across the back of the head. And then here we're going to just stimulate that place between the shoulder blades by lifting. So we want to engage the belly muscles, press the low back down a little, lift the head and the chest up, and just make circles with the chest. So it's as if we were circling the elbows on the ceiling. And you feel a little massage at the upper back, going in the opposite direction as well. Engaging the belly muscles, very good for us as well. And then coming to center and releasing down, releasing the arms wide again, just rolling the head all the way from one side to the other a couple of times. We'll do the same thing on the other side. Head in the center, wrap the left arm over the right arm, let the fingertips drape towards the floor. Couple of deep breaths here, maybe swaying the nose slightly from side to side. You don't have to do that, but perhaps it will be useful. Feel how differently this feels to you on this side. And then pressing the low back down, engaging the belly muscles, lifting the head and chest, and a little rocking around here. So you're not really focused on what you're doing with the tummy muscles, although they're engaged. We're focusing on that sensation of massage in the upper back, going the opposite way as well. I find that sometimes focusing on something else makes it easier to do this with those abdominal muscles. When you're ready, coming back to center, relaxing the back of the head down, opening the arms, rolling the head all the way in one direction, back to the center, all the way in the other direction, and maybe once or twice more to each side. Whenever you're ready, you can extend the left leg up to the ceiling, cross the left ankle over the right knee, firm in your belly, and just gently swaying the right knee from side to side, allowing the left leg to follow. If this feels quite stretchy already, you might want to stay with this floor variation. But if you're comfortable in the center, floating your right foot off the floor, and then again with the feet, both feet off the floor, just swaying the knees from side to side. And if side to side feels good, you might want to stick with it. And if you prefer, you can do little circles here with the right knee, left leg following, just to lengthen across the left buttock, opposite way as well. If you're circling, again, a little engagement here across the belly muscles will help. It's difficult to do this without engaging them, I have to say. When you're ready, you can float your right foot to the floor, and then firm in the belly, allow the left foot, the right knee to go to the right and the left foot to follow into a lovely twist. Here you can lengthen the left arm up past the left ear, maybe even look to the left if it's comfortable. Soften the shoulders. Relax your face for a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. When you're ready, you can take the left arm back to the center, head back to center, firm the belly, bring the knees back to the center. Lengthen your left leg up to the ceiling with a long straight leg. Allow the left leg to come down to the floor in front of the right foot, and then left heel on the floor, slide the foot back in towards you. Same thing with the right leg. Extend the right leg up, bend the knee, cross the right ankle over the left thigh, and then here with the belly muscles working, just a little sway from side to side. And you might find that this is enough, or perhaps this just does something slightly differently from the left foot up variation. When you're ready, if you want to, you can float your left foot off the floor, knees come back towards the body for a gentle sway from side to side. Again, it's difficult to do it without engaging the belly muscles, but if you need to think about it, engage them that way as well. If you want to, you can make circles with the left knee, just stimulating a little length across the right buttock. And the opposite way as well. But you can hear Hey Hey, he's crowing in the background there. And then in your own time, floating the left foot, to the floor, firm in the belly, allow the left knee to come to the left, the right leg to follow. If you don't get down to the floor, then placing a block underneath your right foot will help here, or underneath the left thigh. We can reach the right arm past the right side of the head, shoulders relax, maybe even turn to look over the right arm, if that's helpful. Release as much effort as you can for a couple of long, deep breaths here. When you're ready to release out, head back to neutral, arm back to neutral, firm in the belly muscles, legs back to neutral. Extend the right leg up long and straight. Keep the leg long and straight as you let that leg come all the way down to the floor. Slide the right heel in so that the right knee is bent with the foot on the floor. And we're ready for relaxation. So if you would like to gather some things for relaxation, just roll to your side, maybe taking a blanket or a jumper. I've got so much stuff I can't decide what to do. And today, if you would like to, perhaps something underneath the backs of the legs. So it's great to use a bolster or some rolled up blankets or towels or cushions or something like that, just to give the space behind the knee a little bit of a rest, which also helps to rest the back of the body as well. Okay, so getting yourself nice and cozy, if cozy is what you'd like to be. If you prefer to do legs up the wall, this is the perfect day to do it on, especially after our winding down practice. So you absolutely could choose that. Just bear in mind that we're going to be here for about 7 minutes or so. So you might need to come down, and that's okay if you do. Okay, so coming into your relaxation posture of choice, allowing your body a moment to find its way to stillness. So allow yourself a moment to fidget and fiddle and reorganize. And then find your way to a still spot and just observe how your body feels now after your yoga practice. And you might feel a sense of movement, perhaps vibration in the body. You might feel length or space or warmth. You might be acutely aware of some area of tension that you've worked on but haven't quite released. Or you might have a sense of having overdone something. And that is really important to note when it happens, because it means that you can work more gently, more considerately next time. When you're ready, take a deep breath in and sigh out through your mouth. And repeat that 3 more times.
A deep breath in, let all of your effort go. A deep breath in, let your muscles begin to relax. Last breath in and surrender your weight down into your mat. Allow your breath to find a more natural, quieter rhythm. Soften the space between your eyebrows. Allow the whole forehead to spread. Allow the area around your eyes to relax. Your tongue, jaw, chest to release. Become aware of the back of the body. Become aware of all of the parts of the back of the body that have made effort to support your practice today. From the space at the back of the neck, between the shoulder blades, across the whole back, the low back, the buttocks, the backs of the thighs, the backs of the calves, the soles of the feet. Allow all of these parts of the body to feel heavy, warm, and softening down. Move your awareness to the front of your body. Become aware of the space over you and around you. Feel the touch of air on your face. The movement of your clothes on your skin as you breathe. The sensation of space between the feet, between the arms and the body, in the palms of the hands. Move your awareness to your gently guiding the breath into a slightly deeper, longer, slower rhythm. Inhaling light, energy, and harmony. Exhaling tension, fatigue, and discomfort. Inhaling light, energy, harmony. Exhaling tension, fatigue, discomfort. Allow your breath to fall in this rhythm for the remainder of your relaxation, softening the body, relaxing the mind a little deeper with every exhalation. Gently begin to deepen your breath. Bring your awareness back to your hands and your feet, rubbing the thumbs over the fingertips, wiggling the fingers and toes, rolling the wrists and the ankles. When you feel ready, you can take a deep breath in and stretch the body in any way that feels good. Maybe stretching your mouth and yawn. In your own time, you can bend your knees into your chest, make any moves that feel good. Maybe a bit of rocking and rolling, or perhaps just more stretching is good for you. In your own time, find your way onto your side and just take a moment curled up on your side. And keeping the eyes gently closed, find your way into any comfortable seated position. Bring the hands and place them over the center of the chest. Take this moment to give yourself a big internal thank you for making the time and the space and giving the energy to your yoga practice. And when you're ready, open your eyes. Thank you for joining me in this practice. I hope you enjoyed it. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Namaste.